today, not in Rice-Eccles Stadium, where it was snowing a couple hours ago, but the clouds have blown away, and it's very cool, but not sure if we're going to get any more snow. 33 degrees and dropping. Wind perhaps a factor. Between 4 and 5 miles an hour blowing out of that end zone as you see it. And for the last time, Lavell Edwards strolling the Cougars sideline. 256 wins, 6th all-time. He passed Tom Osborne last week in closing at home with a victory over New Mexico. Immediately afterwards, they renamed Cougar Stadium Lavell Edwards Stadium. He got emotional about that. He is emotional about this as well. Utah has won the toss and defers, and the opening kick by Golden Wetman will not be returned. So BYU with quarterback number 3 on the year, junior out of here in Salt Lake, Brandon Doman. His second start, he was spectacular against the Lobos, 349 yards and rushed for 51. Luke Staley, the oft-injured but still dangerous running back with Sataki also in the backfield. Margin Hooks, the leading receiver again this year with Pittman on the other side, and Ofa Hungawi, the dangerous tight end. And as Mike said, they go against the top pass defense in the country across the board, the best defensive unit in the Mountain West Conference, and one of the 10 best in Division I. Doman will start on the ground with a good for short yardage to Luke Staley. And the first man there is the rover, Westafunga. Offensive line for Brigham Young: Reichert, Whiting, Sukanik, McCubbins, and Archibald. Defensive front for Utah: Kalfusi, Smith, Kemoeatu, and Bowers.
Watch Kemoeatu, the run stopper, and Kafusi, the outstanding freshman pass rusher. Tough guys, decimate offenses.
Their coordinator, Kyle Whittingham, said earlier this week, the way these games go, if Brigham Young runs on us, they win. If we keep them from running, we win. Doman's first pass is picked off by Andre Dyson. Goodbye. Touchdown, Utah, 24 yards. Andre Dyson has his 4th touchdown return of the season. His 3rd on a pick. He also has a fumble return for a touchdown.
We were just going to do the rest of the lineups, Dave, and I was going to talk about Dyson. What a great job he's been doing. Read that one all the way, just broke on the pass, and didn't really. He's been doing his whole career, his 12th career interception.
Well, go ahead and talk about it.
I will. Now, well, they're going to kick first, then I will.
Ryan Kaneshiro makes it 7-0. 52 seconds into the game. Senior Clinton, Utah, brother of the Tennessee Titans, Kevin Dyson. Andre has made a habit of returning takeaways for touchdowns. Didn't even take a minute. Utah 7-0 on a 24-yard Andre Dyson interception return for a touchdown. So Wetman again has it teed up. Back deep for the Cougars. David Christensen feels it on a hop at the 10-yard line. And his return will end at the 23. And another look at the 4th pick of the year, the 3rd brought back by Dyson.
Well, it got tipped right there by Jason Kafusi. Just got a little bit of it to knock it off flight. Don't know how much it would matter, but he's in the quarterback's face.
Well, it really wouldn't have mattered because it's a too-deep coverage, Mike. And the rule for quarterbacks is if there's a safety behind the hard corner, the corner hard being described so because he's obviously up in his coverage. You got a man over here on the hash who's going to play the deep for the corner, which means he can come up on this ball without regard to the deep pass. You don't make that throw. Hard lesson for young Doman.
Not a good start in his 2nd start. There's the Cougars quarterback. Pitch out goes to Staley. Ridden out hard by Westafunga at the 25-yard line after a short gain. Leading tackler for the Ute defense, 76th stop for the senior from Hawaii, Tafunga. Who said earlier we could be 0-10 coming into this BYU game, win it, and I'd still feel satisfied about the season. A little insight into how they approach the Holy War. Staley given 2, so 2nd and 8. Bowman with time, fires for margin hooks. Over the middle, very close to the first down. Wrestled down by Brandon Dart, the free safety. Now, we never had a chance to look at the rest of the Utah defense. Thanks to the heroics of Dyson, but they're the linebackers, Lavell, Deckard, and Tafunga. You've already met number 21, Ray, the other corner. Dart, an amazing medical story. Gets to start his final game alongside Kimball Christensen.
Yeah, I won't talk about Dyson since you said the pick, so you mentioned Dart. This is his 7th season in collegiate football. We'll get into all the reasons for that, but this may be the first actual college season he finishes without being injured.
And he's drawing Social Security while playing his last year in college. It's remarkable.
From their 29-yard line. On their third possession, they start with a toss sweep for Utes Daly. And Utes ready for him after a pickup of about 3. Sheldon Deckard and Kimball Christensen. Where does Edwards stand all time? Division I. You got Paterno, 1 behind Bear Bryant, Pop Warner, Bowden, like Edwards, age 70. And then at 256 after last week, he passed Tom Osborne of Nebraska, 6th all time and 3rd active behind Paterno and Bowden.
Not bad company. It's like the company I keep up here, I guess, huh?
There's nothing like the company.
Let's not lose our heads here, Michael.
Bowman well protected, and the pass way short of hooks. So Bowman trying to settle everybody else down and settle himself down. Let's send it down to Michelle.
Well, after 29 years of head coaching at BYU, Lavell Edwards leads behind a legacy that will be defined by the quarterback position. Check out the list. Gifford Nielsen, his first All-America quarterback, named in '76. Mark Wilson in 1979, a consensus All-America. The notorious Jim McMahon, another consensus All-America in '81. Then Steve Young, BYU's 3rd consensus All-America in 5 years. '84, Robbie Bosco, Ty Detmer, Steve Sarkisian. Amazing list, Dave.
Bowman rolling, still rolling now, decides to keep it. In a foot race with Christensen, who wraps him up at the 28. He might have waited too long to run.
You're absolutely right, Dave. He did wait too long to run. Again, he probably wants to set his tone in the pocket, but this was a situation Utah did a nice job cutting him off from rolling out. As soon as he started back the other way, he had an alley. He should have taken it.
One thing I've learned from being up here is that those things sure are easy to see from the top of the stands.
It's amazing how easy it is up here.
Not so easy when you're down there.
Yeah, I don't remember it being this easy on the field.
Well, here comes a 46-yard effort by Owen Potchman. Career-long 56-yarder, school record last week. Edmonds the hole for the left footer, who has plenty on it and is good. Senior from Mercer Island, Washington, Owen Potchman allows the Cougars to get 3 out of by far their best drive here in the first quarter. It's an epic blast by Mike. And a blast by Potchman for a touchback. Lavell Edwards and Ron McBride, good friends. They have gone head-to-head for 11 years. Edwards is 21-7 against the Utes, but McBride has turned this into a real rivalry. He has split his 10 meetings, and lately he's dominated. He's won 5 of the last 7. And fires deep over the middle, and a diving grab by Gerald Lee. Intercepted at the 33.
Quite honestly, we've got 2 quarterbacks, not one, but 2 quarterbacks playing like they were lower on the depth chart at the beginning of the season. Both sides not making some good throws. That's just a bad throw by Lance Rice.
Either a bad throw or a miscommunication on the route, because I think the receiver cut his route off just a little bit short of where he should have been. Had he continued down the field, you see, he really wasn't running.
Lyman was the target. Sataki rambles for about 9 on first down to the 22. Tafunga making, it seems, every tackle for the Utes.
Well, when you know you're not going to have winning records on either side, it's how well do you take advantage of turnovers that could define how your season ends today.
Both these teams coming in with -10 turnover margin. That's really inexcusable for programs that have been this successful, and you're exactly right, Mike. It's nice to hear you get something right.
Occasionally.
In the eye on 2nd and 1. And Staley going to be very close once they have to measure with the 21. Little extracurricular broken up by Tom Robinson, the referee. What Edwards has seen quarter by quarter is huge halftime deficits, and those are tough to overcome week in, week out.
Looking up a $125.
Yeah, that's a staggering quarterly statistic that early in the game, and it usually means you're just being dominated by superior speed in today's football.
1st and 10 from the 21 of the Utes. Little option, you don't associate this with BYU offense. Staley is going to be very close for another 1st down at the 11. Run out of bounds by Dyson. Staley got 9. Just outside the 11 on 2nd down. This is Brian McDonald who breaks inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal. Cougars from there. Their 2nd leading rusher. McDonald brought down by Jason Kafuzi.
That was a nice run, but Kautai Alaveo should have had the tackle. He's going to come up. Number 43 is going to be on the bottom of your screen right here. You can see him come up. He's got to make this play. He's right there. The cutback. He comes back. Got to make the play. You're in position. Arm tackling is not going to get it done.
McDonald will stay in. He has scored 7 touchdowns on the year. More than 4.5 yards per carry. Just needs 3 here. 1st and goal. They'll try him again. Doman stumbles as he gets it up, but he takes it in. Touchdown. BYU leads.
Great job by the fullback, Kalani Sakaki, who ran the ball well previously, but made a nice clearing block for his tailback there, and that's McDonald's first touchdown, I think.
He had another block a couple of plays ago on that option play, had another big block. 245-pound senior.
8 touchdown. I stand corrected. He has scored before.
Bachman, the all-time leading scorer, adds his 63rd consecutive PAT. Brian McDonald out of Buena Park, California. As Doman stumbles, takes it home 10-7. Cougars trail 7-0, less than a minute into the game, and they storm back with 10 straight to take a lead with 4:42 in the quarter. McDonald took it over the final 3. All set up by the interception by Jared Lee at the 31 of the Utes. Patrick Dyson 7 yards deep. Well done. Damian Hunter in a tailback for the first time for Utah. And Rice goes down before he can assume his position in the pocket. What pocket? It collapsed before he could take his 3rd step in the drop.
Unfortunately, I'm an expert on what causes this. The center steps back, steps on his quarterback's foot. The quarterback doesn't move his foot quickly enough to get out of the way. And what you have to do as a coach is you blame it on both of them and tell them that better not happen again.
And I tell you what the D-line does. You run and you try and get as close as you can to the quarterback before he goes down so you get yourself a sack.
And then you dive on him. Absolutely. Headlong.
Salt Lake City, the best thing that could have happened to him. He needed to get out of LA. Quarterback draw out of the shotgun. Rice reaches the 27 and goes backwards. He is met by Isaac Kelly first, the weak side linebacker.
Coach McBride and the Utah coaching staff is going to have to come out and start working on BYU's trouble area, which has been corner all year long. The problem, admittedly, by Lavell Edwards, our corners have not played well. Utah has not really gone after them at all so far.
Minus total yards. Wetman's first one at 42. He kicks into about a 5-mile-an-hour breeze. Ed Stearns watches this one bounce right to him at the 35. And he had already signaled fair catch. And a fight going on at the other end of the field. C.R. Dwinnell. And for Brigham Young, Bill Wright, backup linebacker.
Just getting to know each other a little bit, that's all. The little battles within the war are sometimes the most fun to watch in a game.
Well, didn't draw a flag. Just raised a little blood pressure. So from the 36, first down, Brigham Young. Staley back into tailback. Running with a fake to Staley. Wanted to go long, and an over-the-shoulder catch down to the 20-yard line. Goes Jonathan Pittman, their second leading receiver, for 42 yards.
One very clear thing about this young quarterback, not so young but in age, but young in experience, is that he throws the deep ball extremely well. Not so good at the crossing routes, but this is a beautiful throw on the post over the shoulder to Jonathan Pittman, who gets his man turned. Jeff Ray turns his shoulders. He's there to make the play.
He is.
Nice throw, nice concentration by Pittman. Looks like BYU football, doesn't it?
It looked like a wishbone quarterback. These two best balls of the afternoon, both of the deep balls. Staley for no gain. 2nd and 5. And on a roll. He's back the other way. Looks for a block. None there. And sacked at the 21 by Kautai Olabau.
Nice job of containment. When you got a quarterback that can run like Doman, the first thing you must do is pull him up, get him started back inside. Jason Kalfusi, number 86, the fine freshman pass rusher, is not just helter-skelter out there. He's playing responsibility, nice defense, and you see how these guys are number 1 in the country against the pass.
Kalfusi, one of 6 Kalfusi brothers.
I played with his brother Steve with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now their defensive ends coach. His position coach, in fact. Roman all day fires for hooks, and is that intercepted again by Dyson? They say no. That would have been his second.
See, Dyson gave it a shot. He stood up, raised the ball up, and the ref said no, and he wouldn't even argue that.
Well, you coach that. You coach your DBs. If you think you got a shot at the ball, you jump up off the ground, hold it up in the air. We all learned it from Dick Butkus, and it's amazing how often the official will believe you.
Good call there.
He walled all over that thing, but watch him come up with it. Hey, man, I caught that thing.
So on comes Postman, this time from 39 yards. Here's hit from 45. And this for a 6-point lead. And he's again got it. So BYU spends almost the entire first quarter trying to recover from Andre Dyson's interception return for a touchdown, and they've had 13 points on the board. They have silenced the sellout crowd at Rice-Eccles Stadium. They came into this thinking, well, maybe we're finally playing our best football of the year. Utah certainly felt that. Well, they won their last 2. I just wish they played all year with a senior-dominated roster the way they are right now. Another touchback taken down by Patrick Dyson with 6 seconds to go in the quarter.
Try to imagine coaching for 29 years at one place and having one losing season the whole time. That's incredible.
Just try to imagine anybody coaching 29 years, period. Damian Hunter caught that one up. Big scramble at the 20. It'll be changing hands even as we speak.
Oh, it's getting nice and chippy out there, too. That's right in the middle of the field, too, where it's really turning into a mess on that field. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in that pile down there.
I think there have been 3 or 4 takebacks after the original fumble, and Tom Robinson will soon signal Brigham Young does recover. Man, that's the way the whole year has gone for Ron McBride. That's the way most of this first quarter has gone for Lavell Edwards. Justin Etta gets the recovery. Brian McDonald has their touchdown. They lead it after 1, 13-7. Ready for the second quarter. Rice-Eccles Stadium packed for BYU and Utah, with Phil Curry might go to the shelter for you. Dave Barnett, Salt Lake City. It is, unbeknownst to him, 33 degrees and falling. It was snowing earlier today, and BYU with a 13-7 lead and a first down at the 20. Fake to Staley, roll by Doman, fires to Hooks, and immediately hit by Dyson at the 13. The numbers in the first quarter, 127 to 3.
Wow.
Total yardage. No first downs for Utah.
Let me tell you how big having 13 points on the board for BYU is. They've scored just 30 points all year in the first quarter. In fact, in 7 of their games, they have scored no points in the first quarter. So that's a huge quarter for them. But as we showed before, guys, it's the second quarter where they've given up 125 points in the second quarter. Keep an eye on this quarter and see if they can hold Utah down.
We've run 24 plays to Utah's 10. Dillman again backpedals and fires short for hooks. He looks good on the deep balls and not much else.
He just doesn't have that feel for the underneath stuff. That comes from thousands and thousands of reps, and Lavell Edwards describes him as the all-time great kid.
Osmond will try a 35-yarder. 3 for 2 on the day and 17 out of 22 on the year. To the Groza Award, which goes to the best kicker in football, and he's making a pretty strong case again this afternoon. 3 for 3, 16 straight points for the Cougars.
This is one of those games where no love lost is the term, I guess.
Bring back memories.
Oh, let me tell you what.
Big time rivalry. You're going to find yourself in situations like that. You either get intimidated or you answer.
Absolutely right, Coach.
He's got a good job looking at a possible return pitch. Patrick Dawson, the brother of Andre, returns this one 23. Lance Rice trying to get something going offensively. He starts with a little hitch. For short yardage, Steve Smith, the senior from L.A., makes the catch.
And that's the first time today that we've seen Utah come out and exploit BYU's most obvious weakness. So finally in the second quarter, they're going to go after the corners. A simple hitch. What do you got? 2nd and 2. Nice call. It's about time.
I think Utah's going to keep it pretty simple here. 3 yards in the first quarter would mean you need to get back to basics a little bit. Bill, as you said, try and exploit the other team's weakness. And I think they're going to keep it simple here and try and do that.
They should run the ball and make the first down here and then go right back to work on those corners.
He goes to run instead, and Rice wrapped up. Before he can get rid of it, he's sacked at the 22 by Isaac Kelly.
Bill, I cannot agree with you more. You're struggling in the first quarter. Get the first down, move the sticks, get your offense going. They haven't done it now. Now they're trying a little bit of a trick play there on a 2nd down and 2.
There is nothing that calms young quarterbacks down like first downs. You got 2nd and short. Here comes Kelly. Sack now. Now you got 3rd and 9. Nobody likes 3rd and 9. Everybody likes 1st and 10.
3rd and 9 means 4 wides on the shotgun. Rice with time. Caught Chris Christensen with 1 man to beat. And that 1 man is Michael Lafitte. He wraps him up at the 50, but finally Utah's offense shows up. 26 yards.
Nice answer by Lance Rice to the situation that he was given after the sack with a beautiful throw. Good poise in the pocket. A nice throw over the middle against the zone. Nice concentration on the football. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That takes a little grip. Catch that football. Get it turned up. First down. So there are good plays on 3rd and 9. After all,
they found one.
Down there. Chris Christensen did a job when he went up and caught that thing, too.
He'll walk on. His final game as a year out of Sandy. Third leading receiver for the year. Rice gets Steve Smith out of the backfield, puts him out wide, takes his spot in the shotgun, and goes deep middle again, 2 deep. Overthrown for Cliff Russell.
Yes, indeed. And guess who was beat? Michael Lafitte. And this is about the 4th combination of corners that BYU has tried. Staley and Lafitte starting today. They're little guys, and they're having a hard time. They don't run as well as these big guys, and they've run right by them. All he's got to do is connect, and that's an easy 6 points.
Against the Cougar pass defense, 60%, 14 yards per catch, 16 touchdown passes. Adam Tate finds some room up the middle. The 41, a flag is down. It's 9 yards if it stands. Jared Lee makes the tackle on Tate. Rice's numbers, including a pick by Jared Lee. Motion by Scott Price.
And Rice wanted a huge deep for Smith. In single coverage, it is broken up by Dustin Staley. How about that call on 3rd and 1?
I like it. Good call. Trying to go after the weakness of the opposition, and Staley answers with a fine play. He's running stride for stride with the Speedy Smith, and I do mean Speedy Smith's one of the most exciting players I've seen. Got him on his outside hip, reaches up with his right hand, tips the ball away. He's making a statement, hey, I can cover this guy.
Golden weapon on the kick after the unsuccessful deep pass on 3rd and 1. He decided not to go for it from the 41 of Brigham Young. He handles a bit of a high snap and tries to kill this one inside the 5, and they can't quite get to it. So after all that, they're going to net 21 yards on the punt.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that call. If you're going to go for it on 3rd and 1 with the bomb like that, you got to be ready to go for it on 4th and 1 and not punt it away. If not, then you just got to run the ball and try and move the sticks. I disagree with that. Dave, as you said, they just net 20 yards there. I think that was a bad mistake on Utah's part.
So that comes Doman on the Cougar offense. They get Staley wide. Kimball Christensen will wrap him up after a pickup of 5 at the 25-yard line. Kimball's twin brother Howard unable to play this year. Season-ending knee injury late last year, unable to come back. Identical twins. Both their parents, however, attended BYU, and 2 brothers played football for the Cougars. It's not that unusual to see
Kimball
players on one side of the other,
right,
relatives on the other side.
We talked about the Fusis. There's 6 brothers in all. 2 went to BYU, and then 4 went to Utah. But Kimball and Howard talked about the brothers. They're on to med school next year, so they'll be doing all right.
Billman again rolling off the play fake. Looks up. There's an open man. Oka Hungawi, the tight end. And he may have lost it at the end of the carry to the 43-yard line. Brigham Young signaling that they have recovered it at 25 yards, and it is still BYU ball.
Well, the key there was the fake. Completely sucked in the outside of the Utah defense, who was able to get the corner. They do not want this guy getting on the corner. And that's exactly what he's done. Watch the fake. There's the fake right there. It's drawing Kafusi in. He pulls the ball out. He's got the corner all to himself. That is where he is most dangerous, and he looks a lot more comfortable throwing on the run than he does in the pocket.
He sure does. And the instant Kafusi's shoulders turned perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, Doman was too fast. He got outside, made a nice throw. Now he's got to get his tight end over Hungawi to put that ball away and not sling it around.
Perpendicular, turns it.
Turns sideways.
All right.
So Vita
Got it?
soon to celebrate his 9th wedding anniversary with 4 kids already. Doman never saw Arnold Parker. He blitzed in untouched. Parker had 2 sacks in their last game 2 weeks ago at Wyoming. Here's his 4th sack of the year.
Arnold Parker's listed as a starter. He's coming from right here in the bottom right of your screen. And it's the equivalent of a corner blitz. And the young quarterback doesn't see it. The guy that should have seen it,
Brian
McDonald, and picked it up, could have prevented that happening. Nice play by the nickelback, Arnold Parker.
Yeah, and he got the gift from McDonald, because McDonald easily should have looked out there and picked up that blitz. He stepped up.
McDonald had an inside-out read. He got locked in on the linebacker and didn't look to the corner.
And boy, does that change things. Now 2nd and 19, and they bear down on Doman. Flush him out, throws it short. Sataki has some room. Gets away from Lavell. Still going. Out of bounds, 28-yard line.
That's a fullback right there. And you're getting a late flag as well, but that's a fullback. Rarely will you ever see a fullback run for the sidelines. You see him get the catch on the outside. Good job of Doman getting outside again. That's where he's most dangerous. Sataki wants no part of the sideline. Look, he'll spin and come back in just to try and run somebody over. I'll go after somebody. Keep driving his legs, and you're going to get the flag here late.
Right there.
Tafunga gets the hit about 3 yards out of bounds. And we've already seen a little bit of non-love on the field, so the refs are certainly going to keep an eye on any extracurriculars.
Personal foul. Defense. Late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, it is along with the 13th play of the drive coming up. All 3 of their tight ends are in the game. Doman play fake. Pump fake. will keep and Banger at the 5. Wipeout, Lavell. Well, he specializes in thumping BYU runners.
But you watch that quarterback, Doman, jump up off the ground. Calte is all man, and he unloads on him. Calte says this football is not very tough. I worked on the farm. My dad worked me so hard with those papayas. This football is easy. But Doman jumped up, clapping his hands, knowing that they got a good shot at points here, and they should get him.
But they didn't spit a couple of teeth out, too.
He doesn't care.
They again have to settle for 3. They hope. Heisman has not missed yet. He's a 23-yarder, and he is still perfect. 19-7, BYU. But Doman will not soon forget what Lavell just laid on him.
It does feel funny. You better have a good robe when you get out.
I know it's Michelle down on the sideline. I think she should really get into this game and maybe hop in the hot tub.
You know, come to think of it, we haven't heard from Michelle in a while. Patrick Dyson from the 1. Good coverage by the Cougars at the 16. Utes again into the obvious passing situation, 3rd and 7. Haven't picked up any 3rd downs, but here they get Christensen loose over the middle. And he may go. Dustin Staley with an angle gets him at the 25. 56 yards. Rice to Christensen.
We have mentioned that the corners for BYU are vulnerable. The safeties this time exploited Jared Lee on the coverage. They force him into man coverage. He falls behind Christensen, and Christensen down the sideline, cutting it wisely to the outside down to the 25-yard line. And that's the kind of thing that Utah must do to get back in this game.
Bill, their total yardage was 42 yards before this one goes 56.
Well, they just got to keep giving this kid a chance because he's going to hit a few of them, and they can make big gains.
Back to the ground game. Tate tries to get around the left corner and can't get away from the talented freshman from Highland, Utah, Paul Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst to be promoted perhaps to a starting job earlier than they planned, but he's been equal to the task. 3rd and 5 for Rice. Down in the arms of Ryan Denny.
You know, and that one's Rice's fault. He's got the middle open. He's got to step up and make something happen. He's got to step up, make the throw, or he's got to take off with the ball. It's a young quarterback, inexperienced quarterback, holding on to the ball too long.
So Ron McBride has to hope for 3. Remember, they scored on the Andre Dyson interception in the first minute of the game. We're in the last 2 minutes of the first half, and they still haven't scored, but on for a 39-yard effort is Ryan Kanashiro.
They have really struggled with field goals this year. Not very good accuracy.
We will call this an even 40. 4 out of 6 on the year for Kanashiro, and no problem with this one. First half ends on a hopeful note for the Utah defense, one of the best in the country. But Lavell Edwards has a 9-point lead on the scoreboard, 19-10 in his final game on the BYU sideline. We'll see if there is an emotional advantage either way. The obvious emotion involving Edwards' final game for BYU, but it is a home game, and for Utah, they feel they have been a much more talented team than their record has shown, 4-6 coming in. So they don't want to finish at home losing to their arch rival. Patrick Dyson takes it for a touchback. We take it down below to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, I got to spend halftime with Lavell, his last halftime in the locker room. A fiery locker room. The team was very fired up, but talk about business as usual from Lavell Edwards. He looked at his team and he said, defense, if we don't let them score, they don't win. We've been a good second half team all season. Everybody win on 3. He counted to 3. They all shouted win. That was it. That was Lavell Edwards' last halftime speech, Dave.
Utah gets 2 first downs at 100 yards in the first half. They start the second half with a very poor pass from Rice intended for Cliff Russell.
Bill, I was a little bit surprised by the fact that there was no real talk in that locker room from either the players or the coaches about this being Edwards' last game. You?
The absolute hallmark of Lavell Edwards has been consistency. So even though it would be surprising to you and me, and I'll tell you, Michelle, I'm envious. I wish I'd been in there. I would have been surprised if he'd have changed anything. He is Lavell Edwards, and that's one of the reasons that he's done so well.
Offset eye and a run on second down for Damian Hunter. Adam Tate limited to -2 yards on his 2 first-half carries and was injured late in the first half, so the numbers at intermission skewed toward the Cougars. 12-2 first downs, 195 to 100 total yards. And the turnover was costly. It was returned for a touchdown by Dyson.
And it can't be much simpler than what Lavell Edwards said. I mean, you hear this all the way down to Pop Warner. If you're winning at halftime, hey, defense, don't let him score and you win. It's pretty simple.
He figured it out.
Yeah. The keys.
4 wides on third down. Time for Rice. Floater. Christensen brings it in. He's got a first down at the 36.
When Rice has thrown it well, Christensen has usually been the target. This one goes 14 yards.
That was a dangerous pass. Christensen has done a wonderful job. He's not been one of the ballyhoo receivers, but he's the inside slot guy coming across the middle right into heavy traffic, and the ball slightly lofted. He just went up and took it away from the defense. I'm not sure that the coaches will be real happy with that throw, except the result.
Near the 48, Rice over the middle. Matt Nichols separated from the ball by Tyson Smith, the strong safety.
And we see Tyson Smith a couple of times tonight. Once got beat over the middle, misplayed a ball, just made a tackle a little bit ago in front of him. This time, he read the play all the way. I mean, there's nothing fancy about this. They know Lance isn't going to go too deep. Smith just sits back there and he's reading the quarterback. Lance isn't really looking at a lot of different receivers. So he's just going to come up trying to hit him as hard as he can, puts the shoulder right in his chest and separates the ball from the man. It's a nice hit.
BYU playing a lot of zone to cover for those corners that have been so vulnerable. Nice job of coming up making the hit.
4 wide, 2nd and 10. Swing pass. Hunter brings it in, and he is brought down by Kelly for a loss. And real apparent that the Brigham Young defenders are not fooled by very much.
Yeah, Ed Ta'amu was out there leading on the screen, and he just flat out didn't make the block. Your big linemen are out there, and sometimes they get caught in space, Bill. When the old linemen try and go out on a screen, you're dealing with those linebackers who try and make moves on the old linemen, and they can't keep their feet.
Well, the linebackers are just better athletes, and you've got to go out there and throw. You've got to try to get a piece of it and make him break stride.
Rice 6 out of 14 through the air. That one's batted around and almost intercepted. Intended for Josh Lyman, and Jared Lee got a hand on it. There were actually about 3 white jerseys who all had a shot at it, but it falls harmlessly to the turf.
Bill, you get the feeling that we're going to see an interception over the middle. That ball is just getting hung up there.
He's just been lucky to Christensen, and he's making mistakes throwing that ball up in there. And Tommy Lee, his offensive coach, is going to get him over there, and I'm sure they're going to hear about it, and you may expect to see more outside throwing.
Ed Stearns is deep. His first drive of the 3rd quarter started in promising fashion for Utah. It ends with a punt and a Utah roll out of an end at the 15. 11:55 of the 3rd, 19-10 BYU. Jared Lee's got a pick and a huge hit to his credit tonight. And not much has gone the way Ron McBride would have hoped in the Holy War in Salt Lake. Doman cuts it back, and look at all the room toward the middle of the field. Got a nice open field block out there by Mike Rigel, and the keeper for Doman goes 16 yards. Well, all week on ESPN.com, the question has been out there, and Mark Blazer Provo writes, how can a new head coach come into BYU and gain the confidence of the players and the student body? One way you would think would be to continue what has been so successful.
There's one way. Win the games. Win all of the games and do it for a long time. Then they'll say you're like Lavell. I'm not kidding. That's what you have to do.
Luke Staley. I mean, Ruben has been hard to come by. He's hit for a loss by Garrett Smith.
I think they'll stay within the family. I think we're getting a late flag down here. I think they're going to stay within the family, and like a Gary Croton or somebody who has ties to BYU, and keep the same system.
Boy,
and recruit.
Person.
Yeah, that's just going to kill it. And recruit the same type of players and keep that system going. So that's a direction I think they're going to go. And I agree with you, Bill. I think Gary Croton, I think, is the name. Michelle mentioned it before. That does seem to be the name out there.
Look at Brandon Dart, and a miracle he's still out there. Look at the legacy, injury after injury. In '94, Kyle Whittingham says he was as good a safety as he's coached. He had a definite NFL future. But first he tore a back muscle, his right MCL, a hamstring, the left ACL, broken right foot 2 years ago, right ACL last year. He has played in only 27 of 78 possible games. If you've ever rehabbed from one of those injuries, you'd never want to go through it again.
Incredible.
By golly, he deserves 7 years.
And he never missed a game in high school. Sataki powering to the 36. Garrett Smith, another tackle.
Could he now be Dr. Dart?
Ought to be.
You know what? He never finished a season on the field, and knock on wood, this being the last game, get out of this one safe. But to never finish the college season on the field, always finished it in the training room. That is, and Dave, you said it, to come back from one major injury, but the amount he did, because that is the lonely time. That is the part nobody sees, the rehab by yourself.
And nobody speaks to you. Coaches don't speak.
Yeah,
he just walk out.
You're an outcast.
What they say about him now, they've never seen a more determined kid. Rolling deep wide open for a touchdown goes Mike Rigel. 36 yards.
All night long we've talked about the vulnerability of the BYU corners. And now, depending on the coverage, the Utah secondary is caught with its pants down. A blown coverage here. Dyson thinks he's got zone help in the middle. Nobody home in the free safety location, and he's already turning and looking because there was miscommunication on the coverage.
It's the #1 pass defensive team in the country. Just got scored on there on the pass.
Watchman for the extra point. 26-10. Cougars, the third touchdown catch of the year for the junior from Tacoma, Washington. But Brigham Young's opened it up big. Takes it 26-10 BYU. They opened it up to a 16-point lead after the perfect strike on the blown coverage. 36-yard touchdown. 77 yards on the most recent drive, and the recent trend of the visitors controlling the series appears to be intact. 4 years in a row, this game has been won by the road team. Patrick Dyson. The hard-fought return to the 31. And they've seen enough from Lance Rice for now. Darnell Arsenault, the senior out of Honolulu. Goes deep onto the shotgun, and he finds Cliff Russell inside the 30. Well, there's a quarterback change that works.
Really, I swear, right before that play, I was going to say I agree with the move.
Agree with the move?
Really?
Arsenault is an experienced guy who has led this team to victory before. In fact, we had the bowl game against Fresno last year. He came in at quarterback and led that team to a victory. He comes right out, and what does he do? He attacks the weakness of BYU. Staley is a day late and $1 short on the coverage, and they got a long game. They're in business in the 28-yard line.
42 yards as Lance Rice now on the sideline. Applause. Hunter. And we got down below to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, Utah still without running back Adam Tate, the starting running back. He sprained his right ankle in the first half. Everyone remembers how long he was down. He's taped up and not officially out of this game, but the Utah training staff tells me he's really unable to perform as usual, which is why the coaches have kept him sidelined. Dave?
In the first half, he carried only twice for -2 yards. Hunter now for the game, 11 carries, 31 yards. So Tate continues to watch. As Arsenault weaves his way inside the 20, and with that extra reach, he will have first down yardage.
And the book on Arsenault, he's got 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He'll make some poor judgment throws. And that's where the 8 interceptions occur. He actually has been playing some slot this year, playing out a receiver just to keep him on the field. He's such a great athlete, but they did need a spark here. Lance Rice was certainly struggling, was very inaccurate with his passes, so they go to Arsenault, the experienced quarterback, for a spark.
And we talked to his coordinator, Tommy Lee, and asked about his attitude. He said he'd handled it beautifully. He stayed with the team. That's why he's ready to play at this time.
End of the third quarter comes with a new quarterback making some things happen for the Utah offense. She's been sleepwalking through most of the first 3, and they find themselves trailing BYU 26-10. One more quarter for Lavell Edwards as the Cougar coach. Lavell Edwards 15 minutes away from his 257th career win, and this is 29th and final season. He leads 26-10 over arch rival Utah. Our Aflac trivia question. Boy, this is a trivia question. Who was the BYU head coach before Lavell Edwards?
Obviously goes to Bill there.
Wally Pipp.
No.
No?
He finished up in 1971. Cheer on it or look it up if you got a history book. Arsenault scrambling. And in the arms of Isaac Kelly, he gets a pass on. Well, go back to 1971, and that year the career of one Tom Hudspeth at BYU ended.
Tommy, yeah.
5-6 record that year, 1972. That man took over, and he has really become synonymous with the program, and beyond that, the school, Brigham Young University.
Well, was he the guy that wore the Beehive boot?
He was not. No, that's nothing to do with it.
Need to find out about this Beehive boot thing.
That flag has been waved off.
No, they declined it.
So second down and 10. Arsenault again shotgun. They blitz him, and the throw is snagged by Christensen, who is immediately wrestled down by Jared Lee. Well, before and since, here's what the landscape looked like when Lavell Edwards took over. From 1922 on, they've won 173 games at a clip of about 43%. And in the last 29 years, 256 wins, better than 71%. A national title, 20 conference titles, 22 bowls, 8 All-America quarterbacks who have thrown for a total of over 56 miles in just 29 years. That's from here to Provo almost.
After this play, I want to tell you something else about this guy. Just as important.
Arsenault on 3rd and 9. Gets it off through the hands of Smith. And incomplete.
When I was a young head coach at Georgia Tech, he was the first of the star-type coaches who would come and work with us and work with our high school coaches in the state of Georgia to give us credibility in a new program trying to get started. I was trying to learn how to be a head coach. Lavell Edwards, no compensation, just showed up and did a wonderful job with our staff. There was nothing in it for him. He just wanted to give to somebody else into the game of football, and that's the reason everybody respects him so much in our business.
And this guy defined the passing game, too, of what we see today. I mean, that's of all the stats that we see, a lot of the football that we see on the field today is because of what that man did.
This will be a 33-yard effort by Kaneshiro. 2 years ago, he banged one off the right upright, which would have won it for the Utes in the 26-24 Cougar win. This one is straight through and brings the Utes within 13.
What do you think of that decision, Mike? To kick the field goal, you're down 16, you got 14 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, I think I like it. I think it's going back to Utah in the last defensive series. They went 3 and out. So I think maybe the coaches think, okay, the defense is playing well, we can get the ball back again, and they got a payoff at the end of that drive. They came away with some points.
They also have a situation where 2 scores with 2 touchdowns win the game now with just kicking the extra point. So that was the right decision, and you get an A+ on that.
Thank you.
Wetman. David Christensen. Not a bad return up to 30. 27 yards for Christensen on the return. So that's what people have grown accustomed to for 29 years. So why not just go ahead and get the sculptors out and make it Mount Lavell?
You mean like Rushmore?
Sure. Just carve him right into the Wasatch. I mean, it's not like he doesn't have the numbers to be immortalized in that fashion.
That is amazing, those numbers. Big, it's interesting mountain, wouldn't it?
You wouldn't ski off of it.
Brandon Doman, all the way quarterback for the Cougars. Scrambles, throws almost Dyson's second interception. He broke on it. It was in his hands. He did everything but make the catch intended for Soren Halliday.
There is a player, the best defensive back on the team, that is the best pass defense in the nation. He has got to make this catch in this situation. Nice job breaking in front, right with the receiver. Nice break on the ball, right in his hands. In this situation, big-time players have to come up with the big plays. That one's got to be caught. He's going to be sick about that one.
He may feel worse about that one than he feels good about the one he caught.
Yep.
The first minute of the game, returned 24 yards for still Utah's only touchdown. Doman picks up his own fumble and reaches the 30 underneath Jason Kaufusi.
One of the few ways BYU can lose this football game is to make throws like that against Dyson. I think you get your quarterback over there, Doman, and say, you see number 21 over there? You know where he's going to line up. You know the throws we're calling. And right now, we don't want to test him. So let's just read the stuff away from Dyson. Let's don't give him one, because he's going to catch the next one.
Big 3rd and 9 here for the Utah defense. Best of the Mountain West across the board. One of the top 10 units in the country coming in. 6 straight games they had surrendered under 300 yards. BYU sitting at 298 total yards at the moment. Quarterback draw. Doman will be close to the line of scrimmage, that is. That's it.
Yeah, 2 things there. A, they don't have the confidence in the passing game to try and get the first down. And B, too quick with that. He'll learn he's young. He needs to take that another step, let the routes unfold a little more, let the pass rush get by him a little more, and then start to run up the middle. But Utah's defense, 2 series in a row now, 3 and out, giving their offense a chance. That's
right. He had a hole. A good job by Sukanik, the center, number 68. Had a little crease there, but he rushed it.
Edmonds on to kick. Steve Smith, who limped off a moment ago after tweaking an ankle. Brings this one back to the 36. 11:57 remaining. 26-13 BYU. Utah got a little something established when they changed quarterbacks and went to the senior Darnell Arsenault last time they had it. Mike Golick and Michelle Tafoya, Dave Barnett with 11:36 remaining. BYU trying to make it 5 years in a row the visitor wins in this Utah rivalry. Arsenault, another completion and another nice move after the catch. This time it's Christensen with 41. And a gain of 11 again.
What you're getting here is receivers that end up in the zone matched up on the linebackers. And that's what happened. And that's an easy matchup for Christensen. You see it, zone coverage right in the middle, and there's a linebacker. There's Enna. And that's an easy matchup for the receiver to outrun or outmaneuver the linebacker, get the extra yard.
BYU's going to stay in this zone and make them come down the field without making a mistake. The theory is they'll knock one loose and pick one.
Offense going nowhere. He goes back to Arsenault here in the 4th quarter. Arsenault going deep. Nice catch. Christensen's made him all night over the middle. He's still going to the 13-yard line. 30 yards. He is the master of bringing in the high pass over the middle.
Again, they're going the receiver and by the linebackers in the zone coverage again. And they're doing it before, right here. Look at the space he has with the linebacker. The safety still back here, not into view. It's a good job of finding the hole. The backer in that case may not have got enough depth, or just a good job by the receiver finding the hole, and a good job getting the pass there before the safety could come up and make the play.
Utes 1st and 10 to 13 of the Cougars. 2 touchdowns away from a comeback. Arsenault sets up the screen. The tight end Matt Nickel does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Cougars messed that up very nicely. Mainly Chris Hoke, the defensive tackle. We're at halftime. The Utes had managed only 100 total yards, and now much more respectable 171 since halftime. And the Cougars to just over 100.
I'm going to say again that BYU's approach to this situation, they've got a good lead. They're protecting their corners with a lot of zone coverage on the fear that Utah cannot continue to go down the field as they get into the short field here now with only 25 yards to work in without making a mistake.
The wideouts all right. Arsenault throws that way. The fade in the end zone. No flag. Incomplete for Cliff Russell. Rustin Staley made some contact, but not enough to draw the flag.
Absolutely correct. No call. The receiver runs into the defender and then claims pass interference. Be very clear. Russell going to the corner. He breaks back inside. He goes into the corner. Lafitte, who has perfect position. No foul.
You see those plays nowadays, Bill. They really go high and outside more than to the inside.
The ball was supposed to be thrown over his outside shoulder. Good point.
Well, you're right. It seems like every incompletion now, somebody's up looking for a flag. By habit. It's going to be Russell that time. Low snap. Arsenault has to scramble. He does it well, but runs out of room and is run down at the 15-yard line. Lavell Edwards, the senior safety, got it.
Great job. Not a good job, but a great job by Hans Olsen right there. Looks like Arsenault is going to make it to the corner, and here comes somebody inside out like he's shot out of a cannon. And who is it? It's big old Hans. Look at him. He's dying.
That's a D-tackle.
He turned it on him. That D-tackle turned that thing back inside and forced him into the traffic. Good job, Hans. Uncle Merlin would be proud of you. That's how he played all the time.
And on 4th and 11, down by 13, you got to go for it with 8 minutes remaining. Well, we get a first down just inside the 4. Arsenault will throw the fade again into the end zone, and this time there will be a flag. It'll be thrown on Danny Phillips, intended for Russell again.
And this time they're going to get the flag because the ball was on line this time, and the DB never looked back. If you're going to make a play on the ball, in this case, Danny Phillips, he's got to look back. Watch, he keeps his head on him the whole time and then throws his arms up. Never looks back to make a play on the ball. Good call.
Will that get a rise out of Lavell? Yeah, it will. Yep, didn't want to see that.
And it's the same thing that's been haunting this BYU team all year long. You're doing a good job. You make a big play. You get them in a tough situation, and the corners can't hold up their end of the bargain.
Long back. And takes the handoff. In for the touchdown.
Wow, I thought a fist fight had broken out, and it was the Utah players smashing each other up, trying to celebrate. I'd be scared to score in today's football. I might get beat up.
What a great drive, though, by Fortune. Really nice.
Yeah, and back to what we were talking about. BYU's theory of defense was if they were going to be able to force a mistake at some point, and they never got that done.
Kaneshiro can make it a 6-point deficit. 26-20 with over half the fourth quarter to go. Suddenly there is light along that Ute bench. Fortune for the touchdown. The fortunes have changed for the Utes. Boy, a shot of adrenaline all through Rice-Eccles Stadium after Thomas Fortune scores. The junior out of Colorado Springs makes it 26-20. Didn't quite have that
teed up the way he normally does. Rutland does drive this one deep again for a touchback. And Michelle, what's it like now on the Cougar sideline?
Well, what a sequence, Dave. I mean, they were feeling good about their defense. Then the pass interference call infuriated this sideline. Then the score went in for Utah. Initially, they were deflated, but just momentarily. Then every player sort of took on an air of, okay, it's back to work. Let's go out there and do what we have to do to win this game, Dave.
Well, what they got to do is get a good final 7 minutes and 46 seconds, and they can start by taking a lot of that time off the clock for the Utah offense here. And Doman can get something cracking. Well, at 11 of 23, 199 yards through the air. A touchdown and an interception for a touchdown. And has a day and a half here. Now has to scramble. And after all that, will lose 4 yards. Lavell finally tracks him down.
2 series in a row, Utah's been out 3 plays and out. BYU's goal, Bill, in my eyes, should be get 11 yards each series. Just move the chains. Just keep the clock going. Don't go for the big hitters. Just move the chains.
Vale Sape replaces him. And they're ready to tee off on Doman on 2nd and 13. Here they come. Blocking is good. Staley spins out of a couple of hits and reaches the 23. 3rd and 6. Clock running down near 6 minutes. Doman beats the blitz, slips it out to Sataki. Down at the 25. A nice open field hit out there by Jeff Ray, the corner.
All night long, Sataki has been one of the more dominant players in this game as a blocker and then as an open field runner. This time, Ray comes up and gets his job done at the most propitious moment. Good tackle, good job on a big back and a good back.
Well, first off, I don't know what propitious means, but I'll just move on from that. Second, Jeff Ray is 164 pounds. Sataki's 245 pounds. What a great open field tackle.
Yes, sir. Right around the ankles.
Edmonds needs to lay into this one. He got the dangerous Smith waiting at his 30. And a much better kick. He backs Smith up to his 42. Just does stay in bounds. Gets a good block by Lavell. Here goes Smith. Another great block. Fields gets him at the 30. A 29-yard return of a 45-yard boot. And the Utes sense the comeback. They've got 5 minutes in which to pull it off. Not that long ago, Steve Smith was limping off after turning an ankle. And right now, he looks as quick as ever.
Well, you have a right return, and actually it worked to their advantage that the ball was kicked way left. That means the cover team is really coming right at the return man, so you can easily set up the wall. And all he's got to do is get right around the corner, and then he's got a lot of open space, picks up a couple of nice blocks down the field. So it really actually worked to their advantage that the punt was where it was.
Lyman, the guy that was held on the previous punt, provided the first key block for Smith. And from the 29, 1st and 10. Back in the backfield is Hunter. A pickup of about 6, brought down by Paul Walkenhorst.
Bill, that momentum is changing jerseys, isn't it?
Old Mo has jumped into the red shirts here, and the left side of the offensive line is getting energized. Michael Richardson, the center, such a fine athlete. He's overcome some personal issues to really contribute to this team. 3 different positions. Tahamu, the left guard, number 75, Calfusi, 56, Doug Calfusi, that is, one of the brothers. Good blocking.
2nd and 4. Arsenal again slips it to Hunter. And 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2 coming. Basketball is coming as well. We'll get to Temple and Duke as soon as we're done here. 4 minutes and change to go.
Do we have to have round ball season?
Absolutely. It works out perfectly. Actually, Bill, this weekend, the end of the regular season of college football is done. You get like a month-and-a-half break before the bowl, so now we got college basketball to go to. Dave's going to be calling games. Michelle's going to be calling games. We'll watch them doing all the basketball.
We need the work.
Anything with a round ball, it bounces too consistently.
tell you played a lot of basketball, Bill.
Actually, I did.
They need to get just inside the 20, and they called on Fortune, who got him the touchdown, and he easily gets him the first down.
Now we got to talk about the right side of that offensive line. Actually, you know what? BYU's getting knocked around. Olsen and Ryan Denny over there. Jordan Gross, number 69. Kevin Wilson, 61. These two right here smashing off the football, establishing a new line of scrimmage. Look at that good movement. Not the prettiest blocks in the world, but effective.
It's a guy that had carried all of 4 times for 9 yards all season until this fourth quarter. Got him a touchdown and now a first down, and he cuts that one inside the 15. Let's send it down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, for the first time tonight, signs of panic on the BYU sideline. Coaches screaming at officials, and absolutely every player riveted to every bit of the action, and very, very little talking down here. Back upstairs.
They don't want to be known as only the second team under Edwards to have a losing record and to send him to retirement with a loss.
And frankly, there have been games this year that were embarrassing for Lavell. He didn't say it in those words, but he did say that some of the performances were among the worst his teams had ever had, and nobody wants to go out with those kinds of things being the hallmark of their squad, especially the seniors.
And I'll take the other side of it, as I did in the open, and talk about the Utah players. And again, they respect what Lavell Edwards did, but they want to win their last game, the seniors, for Utah, and they're making a heck of an effort in doing that right now. Again, they want to go and shake Lavell Edwards' hand after the game and say, great career, but you know what? You're leaving here with your last game being a loss.
You know, Mike, you and I both played a long time. Playing against a great coach, it's a big deal for your team to be able to beat that great coach anytime, but especially in a moment like this.
Arsenal wide open over the middle. Matt Nickel, touchdown, Utah.
What a call. Chalk that up to Mr. Tommy Lee, offensive coordinator and play caller for the Utes. What do? A lot of emotion. You just made a big mistake. It's 2nd and 12. You fake it into the line. A little wide delay. The tight end runs clean because the linebackers have to honor the run.
That's exactly right, Bill, because we've seen the run be successful. They stuck with the running game. It hasn't been successful. And they do the fake, and he's wide open.
2 years ago, Ryan Canashiro had a chance to win it and banged a short field goal off the right upright. He has a chance to give them the lead with the PAT with 2:16 to play. Hasn't missed all year, and this one is drilled. Pandemonium in Salt Lake City. How this one has turned on the Cougars and on Edwards. 17 unanswered Utah points. Matt Nickel didn't get to catch the ball too much this year, about 1 per game. He has just scored his 2nd touchdown of the year, and by far the biggest of the year for the Utes, who have a 17-0 fourth quarter running. And again, the Cougars will have to start from their 20.
Utah pounding the ball, pounding the ball, pounding the ball. These linebackers right here are going to step up to meet the run. And with a very clever fake, nice fake, the tight end off and running and down the middle into the end zone with the football. Matt Nickel.
Nickel's got the toughest job. He's wide open, and he has to catch it. How many times you're in that situation, you know you're wide open, all you have to do is catch the ball. You're walking into the end zone.
This game changed immediately when the quarterback changed. Darnell Arsenault, the reason that Utah leads this game as much as anything else. They come after Dolman with a blitz. Blocked well. He throws on the run. It is batted down by Lavell. Kautai Lavell, signed out of Hawaii the same day 3 other Hawaiians, including Chris Kuamatuma Afala, signed. Are they ever glad they got him?
And we're talking about seniors trying to end their career the right way. Lavell doesn't let Dolman get outside. Again, that's when he's been most dangerous. They didn't keep him in the pocket, but they stayed in his face.
Cougars have all 3 of their timeouts. 2nd and 10. They come after Doman, sacked at the 7. Andy Bowers, his 8th of the year.
Another senior in the group. Stepping it up right here. Is just going to beat the tackle to the outside. Takes his shoulder. Not a good job by the tackle moving his feet at all. Just gets beat. Ben Archibald. This Utah defense has been fantastic.
Temple and Duke coming. 1:27 and counting here. 1-point game of the Cougars up against it now. 3rd and 20 from the 10. Doman waits, fires short. It's caught. Short yardage for Staley. And it comes loose. Recovered by Utah. Will they rule it down? They will. No fumble.
And just when we started talking about this, Utah defense is going to have to start making some plays, put their offense in position. That's exactly what they've done. 3 series before this one, 3 and out, forcing the punts. Now they're coming up with another big series.
And we'll have timeout call with 1:04. Lavell Edwards, the first of his 3 timeouts, never been in this position since 1973, his only losing season as the head coach of BYU. And he's that close to finishing his final season 5-7. Earlier in the season, Lavell told us he actually almost retired after last season, which ended in disappointing fashion with 3 straight losses. But he said, no, I'll come back 1 more year, and then I'll call it a career. I don't know if he's wishing at this point he stayed with his earlier instincts. Here's 4th and 13. Last gasp time for the Cougars. Doman lets it go. And it is caught at midfield. Jonathan Pittman makes the catch, and the Cougars are still alive. 34 yards.
That's called a dash pattern. Quarterback drops back as if he's going to be in the middle, and then he sprints out with a seal block to the outside. Has plenty of time to throw. Great job by Doman.
Don't forget, Owen Prochman last week hit a 56-yarder. 6 yards better than his best previous kick. So they are maybe not that far away from game-winning field goal range. 2 timeouts left. Doman deep down the side again for Pittman. Makes the catch, and he's in bounds.
How many guys in this huddle on this sideline are saying, let's get this for Lavell?
Well, those 2 for sure, number 11 and number 5.
If you don't think football teaches lessons, perseverance, and attitude, Lavell Edwards, all these years, this has happened too many times for this to be an accident. This is what he has taught his squad. Precision passing of the football regardless of the situation. That's his 3rd-string quarterback executing that to one of his best receivers. Does he look surprised? Does he look joyful? Not really.
70 yards on 2 completions to Pittman. Now they run Staley up the middle. He powers his way inside the 5. 34 seconds and counting. And they'll call their 2nd timeout with 28 seconds.
This is a great football lesson.
I mean, they are dead. They're dead. 4th and 13, and Doman to Pittman twice 70 yards. They're very much alive. Owen Prochman preparing to make that very thing a reality.
And he's only 4 for 4 tonight. 45, 38, 35, and 22.
They had 1 more timeout. So they can still take their path at 6. Sataki and Staley in the eye. 3 tight ends. And Doman will run the option and cut it back and reach for the end zone. He got it. Touchdown, Brandon Doman. Brigham Young leads it.
tell you, we up here in the booth, right next to us is the BYU coaches, and the emotion that's being displayed up here, I can't even imagine what's going on down in the field there.
They need to go for 2. It's real obvious. They're up by 5. They need to go for 2. The team gets all excited. Somebody runs off the field. You say, well, I can't find the tackle. Get them out there. We're going to go for 2. Call the play. What's a 2-point play? Hopefully somebody remembers that. But you can be sure BYU's got a whole bevy of 2-point plays.
Can you just think what's going through his mind right now, though, Bill? Lavell, I mean, this is it.
You know what I think's going through his mind? Let's see now. To make this 2-point play, we need to run the sprint out to trips. I really do. I think he's going to think football till this thing's over. And they're in trips. And it's a sprint out.
2 for 2. Going to the end zone. It is caught by Soren Halliday.
Thank you, Lavell.
Bill Curry, you the man.
Very good call on 2 points. You don't have to be any genius to know this play. I have to confess that because Golick would point it out.
Sure you do. Go ahead.
They're in trips. You sprint to the trips. You hook up in the end zone. A third-string quarterback, Brandon Doman, who played like a champion down the stretch tonight. He got stronger as the game progressed. He did not get cowed by the situation. Coming here on the sprint out, driving it in for the touchdown. That's the first thing. Then on the 2-point play, a very similar formation, but with a different call.
Quickly down to Michelle.
Well, you talked about the BYU coaches upstairs making some noise. Down here, after the touchdown, after the 2-point conversion, these players were going nuts, but Lavell Edwards didn't move. He sort of walked back and forth just like you've been seeing him. No expression change whatsoever. Meanwhile, a lot of these players in tears right now, seeing what they've just done.
And watching this game will give you a whiplash. Back and forth, fourth quarter. BYU led it at one time 26-10, 17 straight by Utah, until this last-ditch drive by the Cougars to regain the lead, and the kick will go out of bounds. And so Utah, 23 seconds, 2 timeouts to work with. So the Utes from the 35. Darnell Arsenault, who engineered their comeback. Well, it was one play away from their memorable win. It may still happen. He'll keep. He's got a lot of room. Straight up the middle of the field and across midfield. And they get the timeout with 14 seconds, a gain of 16. They got to go the whole 49. Arsenault. Incomplete. Intended for Josh Lyman. Well, when you think BYU comebacks, you have to think maybe the greatest comeback ever, the 80 Holiday Bowl, 45-25 SMU late in the fourth quarter until Jim McMahon finds Matt Braga, and it's 45-31. Ensuing onside kickoff, Cougars recover. They score to make it 45-39. Bill Shefflin blocks a punt. BYU recovers. Hail Mary, final 3 seconds. Somehow it finds Clay Brown amid all those white Mustang jerseys, and BYU wins it 46-45. 3 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds. This may be it for Arsenault and the Utes. Can't get rid of it until he's already in the grasp, and it is incomplete with 2 seconds remaining.
This is unbelievable. It's just going to come down to a Hail Mary pass in the last game of Lavell Edwards' 29-year career. They've been living on this for his entire career, plays like this.
You just never can put them away. They will not go away. That's the Lavell Edwards mark from a football perspective. Philosophy. Not talking about throwing the football. I'm talking about we don't give up. That's the way the guys play. And it is such a lesson to everybody who cares about this sport and about young people.
He's won by many Hail Marys, and he holds one. Last one off. Fumble snap. Arsenault. Still dancing. Chased by Olsen. Lets it go for the end zone. Batted down. It is over. BYU wins it for Lavell Edwards, and he gets the victorious ride after number 257. And the way he wins, Bill, is so
apropos of how he won for all those years.
You get a bunch of young people, you hope you can teach them some grit and determination, and they'll come through in the clutch. I don't know if anybody has gotten it done so many times for so many years.
Again, our final score, the Cougars 37, Utah 34, Utah 27. Coming up next, the preseason NIT championship game. 5th year in a row, the visitor wins the Beehive Boot. From Michelle Tafoya, Bill Curry, and Mike Golick, Dave Barnett saying so long from Salt Lake City.